All right, let's go ahead and tackle this problem here where, as always, the first thing we always do is we're going to read that question first. Again, doesn't matter if this is your first problem of the day or 100th, we want to assume that basic strategy is going to pay off as we try these harder problems. So here, the question reads, how many hours are spent driving? So before we know that this is a distance, rate, and time question, we understand that we are looking for time. How many hours? So that's going to be clue number one. We have time as the goal. Now we need to understand, well, what information are we given? Because if we're trying to find how many hours are spent driving, it could be that we spent, 1 hour over there, 3 hours over there, add it all up, and all we'd have to do is just add up time. But that's not the case here. We're not just given time to add up. We're given a delivery driver that travels 84 miles. That's clearly a distance at 21 miles per hour, which is a rate. And before I continue, what's the one thing that I talk about? Give me the one thing, that one word that I point out that gives away that you're dealing with a rate. What is that one word? Yeah, the word per. That's correct. Miles per hour. The word per connects those two units. That's how you know you're dealing with a rate. So we can clearly see that we have a distance right there, and we have a rate over here, and we're looking for time. So yes, indeed, this is a distance, rate, and time question. So I'll write that formula right there. D equals R times T. And I'm going to plug in what we have in the places that we can. Distance, right there, 84 miles. Rate, 21 miles per hour. And we are looking for time. So from here, given that we are not trying to find distance, because again, to find distance, we would multiply the rate and time together. Given that we're not trying to find distance, but instead trying to find time, what operation are we going to commit to on both sides here? Yeah, that's going to be division. We are going to divide because we're not trying to multiply to get to the distance. We're trying to get rid of the rate to get time by itself. So working backwards, opposite operations, we will divide both sides by 21. Boom, right there. Noticing that it cancels out on the right side. And then we'll just divide 84 by 21. Everyone, 84 divided by 21 leaves us with 4. So the time taken here will be 4 hours. And that makes the correct answer here. Answer choice C. And there we are. All right, so here's another one. And we're going to get straight to reading the question sentence. All right, the question sentence here reads, if the crew logged 60 hours, yada, 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 yada. Don't care about that. What I care about initially here is going to be how many repairs were completed. Boom, right there. That's what I care about. How many repairs were completed? So I'm going to instantly start reading all the way through this, and I'm going to find wherever the number of repairs is defined. Because I see that we have H, X, Y, and Z. That's a lot for my brain. I don't like looking at all that. So let me just fixate myself on what I want. How many repairs were completed? H is the total work hours. That's not repairs. X is the number of installations. That's not repairs. Y is the number of inspections. That's not repairs. Z is the number of repairs. There it is. Z is the number of repairs. So I have what I need. I have H equals 4x plus 2y plus 3z. And I can be confident that this right here is what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to plug in everything else that I have. Again, here, H is the total work hours. And I see that the crew logged 60 hours. So boom, right there, instantly, I'm replacing the H with 60. Next up, I noticed that we have 9 installations. What variable represents installations? X. X is the number of installations. So I'm going to do 4, and I'm going to replace the X with 9. Next up, we have 2y. So we'll have 2 multiplied by y. And what does y represent? Y is the number of inspections, 6 inspections. So we'll replace y with 6, and then we have 3z. So all we have to do now is solve this equation, and we're good. Let's clean things up and let's get it going. So we have 60 equals 4 times 9, which is 36. 2 times 6, that's going to be 12. And then we have the 3z that we'll continue writing out. Next up, we have 36 plus 12, and that'll give us 48. So we have 60 equals 48 plus 3z. All right. Now from here, what we'll do is we'll continue to try to get that z by itself. We have 3 attached to it, and we also have the 48. So with that, what we're going to do first is we'll go ahead and remove the 48 by subtracting it on both sides, canceling out on the right side, giving us 12 equals 3z. So now that we have 12 equals 3z, right over here, we'll finalize this by dividing both sides by 3, and we are done. Cancels out on the right side. Everybody, 12 divided by 3 gives us 4. Booyah. And that means that the correct answer here is 4 repairs. 4 repairs were completed, and we're all set. In this problem, we had to work backwards to achieve the number of repairs by just plugging and chugging. All right, another problem. So it says, what is its perimeter? But not only finding the perimeter, but we want to find the perimeter in feet. So we got to have, some patience here because it's a double whammy. It's perimeter and unit conversion at the same time. So with that said, we are dealing with a rectangle here. So when we deal with rectangles, we understand that we have lengths and widths. And we can say that this is 6 inches by 9 inches. And boom, we're good to go. And we just want to remind ourselves that the perimeter is not the area. We are not multiplying here. We are adding up all of the sides. So to get this done, we are going to understand that if this is 9 inches, then so is up top. And if this is 6 inches on the right side, well, so is the left side. And so because of that, we're here, we have all the sides. Let's add them all up to get the perimeter. So we have 6 twice, so that's going to be 6 plus 6. And then we have 9 twice, so we'll add that in as well. When we add all of this up, we have 6 plus 6, which is going to be 12. 9 plus 9, which is 18. Add those together, and we get a perimeter of 30 inches. So there we are. There's the first step. The first step is getting that perimeter, which we've done successfully. We should feel pretty good about that. But the second step is we have to convert the 30 inches that we have into feet. All of our answer choices are in feet, so we have to continue. We have to finish this up. So here we go. We will have 30 inches converted into feet by dividing by 12, because 1 foot equals 12 inches. And to get 2 feet, we are dividing to get down to that 1. So with that said, 30 divided by 12 is going to give us our answer. And we can do that with long division here on the right side. 12 going into 30. We have 12 goes into 30 twice. Subtract the 24, giving us 6 left over. And we'll drop that 0, giving us 60. 12 goes into 60 5 times, making that final answer 2.5 feet. And there we are, my party people. This was a problem where we had perimeter with unit conversions disguised as 1. And this is where you can expect that upper echelon of problems to be in for this specific, preparation that you're doing here. The tougher questions are going to do that. They're going to incorporate other topics, perhaps distance, rate, time, perhaps area, perimeter, perhaps any of these other ideas along with the unit conversion to make you think a little more. So with that said, there we are with this one.